Welcome to Moments in Time and Space, a microfiction podcast, bringing you tales of horror and suspense with your host, Aaron Maracle. Hello everyone. Back in moment number 27, the agents from Section F have stumbled across a grisly scene left by a temporal hound. After weeks of investigation, Agent Burrow and Agent Green think they may have found the bloodthirsty canine's final target. Professor Kyle paced in his living room, cradling a glass of whiskey in his hand. Agent Hazel Burrow sat in a large chair and watched the man roam around the room. Behind the chair stood Agent Sally Green. The young woman had her arms crossed and kept looking anywhere but at Professor Kyle. "I really can't believe they're all gone," Professor Kyle said. He took a nervous sip of his whiskey. "Are you sure?" Agent Burrow nodded. "I'm afraid so. Your 3 colleagues were all killed by a strange dog-like creature that was probably encountered during your dimensional travel experiments." "But why?" "It is hard to know what the motivation of a paranormal creature is." Professor Kyle stopped his pacing and slumped down onto a love seat across from Agent Burrow. He drained the last of his whiskey and ran a hand through his hair. "I cannot believe they're all gone. We thought we had conquered a new frontier with our experiment. We were the first humans to step into a new dimensional plane, and now?" Agent Burrow clasped her hands together. "You have my sympathies, Professor Kyle. Rest assured that Section F is here to ensure your safety. Now, we need to know if there is anyone else involved in the experiment so we can ensure their safety as well. Did anyone else travel besides you and your colleagues?" Professor Kyle shook his head. "No, it was just Hurst, West, Samuels, and myself." Agent Burrow nodded and reached into her pocket. She pulled out a small box with a red button on it and offered it to Professor Kyle. "Take this," Agent Burrow said. "When the creature appears, give it a push. It will send us a signal and we'll rush here promptly. Until then, Agent Green and I will patrol the perimeter." Professor Kyle took the box. "Thank you both. I am glad Section F is here to ensure my safety." Agent Burrow nodded with a smile and rose from the chair. As she left the house, Agent Green fell in behind her and said not a word. Both agents made their way to the car and climbed in. After a few moments of silence, Agent Burrow glanced at Agent Green. "Something in your mind?" Agent Burrow asked. "It is hard to lie to a man's face," Agent Green said bitterly. "Is there nothing we can do?" Agent Burrow shook her head. "There is no known way to stop a temporal hound. Once it begins the hunt, the creature will not stop until it has killed everything that entered its domain. If any incident gets in its way, the hound does not discriminate." There was a long moment of silence, and Agent Green glanced at Professor Kyle's house. "Does it get any easier doing things like this?" Agent Green asked quietly. A red light began to blink furiously on the dash of the car. Both agents watched it until it suddenly stopped. There was a long, unearthly howl that filled the night air, and then silence. "No," Agent Burrow said as she pulled out her cell phone. "It never gets easier." A lie told to save others is still a lie. Thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. You can also follow me on Twitter at Moments in TAS. Feel free to recommend this podcast to others and help it grow. Please check out our Patreon page if you want to offer additional support for this podcast. The opening and closing theme is Creepy Night by Daniel Carlton. Until next time, be safe, be smart, and be well. See you soon.